Prosecutors are now asking for more time to respond to a recent motion to dismiss charges against one of the alleged co-conspirators in the Jackson bribery scheme case. Hinds County District Attorney Jody Owens filed the motion claiming the FBI misled a grand jury in order to secure his indictment. Federal prosecutors are requesting an additional 30 days to file their response. They told the court that one of the government's attorneys is currently tied up with the Ted DiBiase trial, which they say is taking longer than expected. And you can read more about this story on WLBT.com, or you can scan the QR code you see there on your screen.